Today we have with us Dr. Poonam Gera. She is an officer in charge of Cancer Genetics and Genomics Lab and the biorepository involved in diagnostic NGS and cancer based testing for hereditary cancer patients at TMH, Tata Memorial Hospital. She was a co investigator for the International Cancer Genome Consortium India project. Dr. Gera completed her MBBS from MGM's Medical College and her MD from Krishna Institute of Medical Sciences and Research Center. Recognized for her contributions, she has received the DST International Travel Fellowship and has authored publication Elevating Cancer Research. Dr. Gera recently organized the Indian Cancer Genetics and Genomics Conference and hands-on workshop ICGCW 2024, reflecting her dedication to advancing cancer research and education at ACTRACT. Welcome, Dr. Poonam, to our talk show GenieCast. With an extensive portfolio comprising numerous publications in the field of oncology, it has been over a decade since you are in the field. Please share your career journey from an MD in pathology to an officer in charge of cancer genetics and genomics lab in ACRAT, one of the leading cancer centers in India.
Thank you, Srishti. First of all, I would like to thank you, Ginny, for this interaction. So, coming to your question, the journey from my MD pathology till officer in charge, I had many turns over there. MD pathology, which is basically to be trained in a medical diagnostic field. After that, I briefly worked in the blood bank in a laboratory in a multi-speciality hospital, which comprises of surgical pathology and the hematology biochemistry investigation. That was for a brief period. Then I relocated to Mumbai, and that time there was a turn. I landed on a research field. So that was really a turning point. I joined International Cancer Genome Consortium project, which is completely, it was a research-based project on the human oral cancer, specifically the buccal cancer. In India, this subsite in the International Cancer Genome Consortium project, various countries have been given various sites according to the incidence and prevalence. But India has specifically given the buccal mucosa, even in the oral cavity, the buccal mucosa subsite, because the prevalence is high because of tobacco chewing habits in the Indians. So I started my journey in the research with this project, which I joined as a senior resident in the pathology, and then I was promoted to the co-investigator on this project in 2016, and 2023 we could finish that project. It's a DBT funded project, and there how I started my career into the genomics. Initially I was involved all in the surgical pathology part, but slowly with this project, from beginning also, when I was doing my MD pathology, I had great interest in genomics and molecular biology. I had done some trainings in that as well, and somehow my wish has come to a reality, and I could come here. And simultaneously, then I was exposed to the biobanking, which is again a research based field, which was again a rare thing. So initially to start was on the project. So I thought it's really a good exposure. I should take it up. But in 2000, this is in 2012. In 2014, it was like I was really in a dual mind, because I was trained in the pathology and coming to the research field. The post which was I was applying and willing to opt for was purely a research based post on a tumor biobanking, and maybe then I got some guidance then that I'll be a molecular pathology, which is a rare species in the world of pathology. So, but still, I thought, let's see if I can be diverted to diagnostic plus research. It's like for the one who has been trained in the field of diagnostic, they always wish to be in touch of diagnosis plus research. To survive only with the research, it becomes a little bit difficult, but I chose that difficult path. And then from the research in 2020 and 21, we landed up coming to the diagnostic as well. So it's like uh, now everything seems to be fine
In
and
place.
perfect. Yeah. But the journey which I have gone through, because suddenly I used to feel like an alien. When I come from the background of the pathology, I landed with all the basic researcher. It was very difficult to understand the language they speak, the
Yeah.
terminologist, because in the curriculum of the pathology, this all parts were covered very superficially. So, but I should say I was fortunate enough, and I thank all who all supported me that no, I can take up this career to guide me that way. And ultimately, in so I was in charge of cancer biobank from 2016 till date. I am in charge. So biobanking is the facility to facilitate the researchers. It's like we store the sample, cryopreserve them, and then distribute to the ethically approved projects. And slowly, simultaneously, we were doing genomic based project. ICGC was also going on. And in 2020, we had decided that Dr. Sareen, he decided that we should start a diagnostic services. So from 2021, we had started, and it's like now I'm a since last year I'm in charge of the cancer genetics and genomics lab of ACTRAC, and we have done almost more than 5,000 in-house testing for the diagnostic.
That is an extensive journey, like
Yeah.
back and forth from pathology, from diagnostics to research, and then again. And somehow, like you said, things are in place now. So after pursuing your MBBS and MD,
Mhm.
and during your degrees as well, you have wholeheartedly dedicated your career in the field of science, now
Yeah.
specifically oncology. But that
Mhm.
requires a lot of commitment and the love for the field. So, what
Definitely.
inspired you to commit to this journey, this long journey?
Oh. So inspiration, it's like since I had passed my HSC, my 12th examination, I was indenting that I should be a doctor so that I can help the community. This was my basic intention. So, for which I pursue my MBBS. Uh, and then somehow I landed up taking pathology, because the only two option which I had is either to take pathology or gynecology according to the grades which I had. So the gynec diploma or patho degree. So being a female, as everyone in the family and the friends suggested, if you opt for a gynec field, it will be very difficult for you to manage family. So because there are a lot many emergencies, you cannot decide your schedule. So blah blah. So I ended up taking up pathology. So as I entered in the field of pathology, when I explored, I thought I can survive only at two places. Either I do full fledged hematology, that too extensively in a molecular field. And second option for me was to land up in a surgical pathology with the cancer diagnosis. Because only in these two fields, the extensive pathological interference is required. This is what my belief was when I was studying pathology. So at that time only, I had a great attraction for Tata that I should do at least some fellowship or something in the Tata so that I'll be extensively. I used to attend all the workshops which were being conducted over here. So that was one thing in mind. Second thing was hematology, and somehow my fate also taken me It's like after my marriage, I ended up coming to Mumbai. I got the opportunity. The first, when I was searching for the job, the first call I could see is of Tata and simultaneously at BRC. So somehow it was destined and my wish, maybe it was with me. So
Yeah, I guess you manifested it for a very long time that you will be work that you want to work in Tata and now you are. That is just
yeah.
wholehearted manifestation. You mentioned
Oh,
that your family was involved to some extent in the choices that you make in your career.
yeah, yeah.
So, how now you're married, you have a family. Now, how do you manage your career and your personal life?
Oh. It's a difficult question and a difficult situation which we pass through. So there have been challenges uh, since I have landed in the field because it's really not very easy to manage both the things. It's always kind of balancing when you have to give more weightage to the family and when you have to give more weightage to the professional this thing. So it's what I feel. It's not an individual woman who can survive through all this. There has to be support from the family, from the friends, everybody. So I should be thankful that everybody was supportive enough. The only thing is, what a woman should do is to take that step, to be courageous enough that no, I have to do this and I can do this. This thing has to come from within. Then the thing started favoring you. So it's like you still face difficult times. So if you particularly ask about me, so when I had joined this position as a regular employee of Tata, so my elder son at that time was just 3 months old, and I had no options other than joining. So it was very difficult. So there were views that I should not opt for this job. There were views I should opt for this job. So it's like always a fighting between yes or no. Ultimately, I had come to a conclusion because somehow I should be thankful to my husband. He was very supportive that you take a step, I'm with you. So that was the greatest support I had. So I could take up this job, and still, then challenges do come in between whenever there are kids are small, there are health issues of the kids, there are health issues of the elderly, and there are some work pressure at the workplace. They demand much of you over here than the family. So somehow it's a balancing. And the only key point which I feel, if you show your eagerness and your dedication at work as well as at your home, when things started falling in place. Sometimes this balance may go a little bit up and down, but we should not get disturbed by those temporary phases. We should just patiently wait and do whatever best we can, and the things overcome. This is what I have realized.
I, after hearing your journey, I think you are a great believer in manifestation. Like every time you're like, "हो जाएगा." This too shall
Yes.
pass.
Yes, yes, and that should come from within. Then only even the destiny, all the situations will try to help. If you yourself become like, no, now what will happen? I'll not be able to move ahead. And then you'll not be able to see the path which can lead you ahead.
Correct.
So, yeah.
Absolutely agreed with you. This is something new which I got to know. Till now, I think I
Yeah.
know you for few years, and you're the most humble and the most nicest person I know. A life of a medical student is already very thrilling and humbling in its own way. So what
Mhm.
key skills helped you during your journey?
The key skill, I should say, the key skill is um, the patience, which I have or we should have, that sometimes thing doesn't fall in place, but it may. Because if I tell you, and this patience, I think it doesn't come by itself. when you pass through so many obstacles. It's like when I was going through my MD, my mother was not well. So the obstacles which we had faced through that situations, how to balance that emotion, that help which is needed at your family, and your what you should do, what the academics expect you from uh, your role, what your teachers expect you to do. So I had learned a lot balancing even through that period. So the key scale will be, it's always a dedication. You'll have to dedicate, you'll have to sacrifice many things. It's like, and it's okay that you may not be able to do what your other friends, because it becomes very attractive when you see the circle around you. They may be doing lot many other things which attracts you. You'll have to stop yourself from them and do whatever best your situation expect you to do. So consider what shoe you are in rather than looking at others. And keeping patience, faith, and dedication are the key skills which keep you moving ahead.
That is so true. Like we inhibit our career growth if we start comparing with the people around us. If
Yeah.
we get very short-sighted. We do not look at the bigger picture of our career. Moving on to the next question. So, like we discussed earlier, you have been on and off, like pathology, research, like, the diagnostic parts. You have been involved in most of the spheres in the field. So, how did you, and all are different. So, and how did you make space and succeeded in every department you were in?
Yeah. So I think I uh, I should not say I've been successful, because it's not a one-time achievement. It's a state which has to be keep on improving. So in the different field, it was very difficult. As I said, when I landed up into the this research land, I really I was very scared. So when I used to go home, I used to think, oh, means I don't know anything. There are so many things which I'll have to read. But it's like with reading, with the um, dedication, no, I have to survive. So what best I should do? Exposure. I try to expose myself to various workshops, conferences. I used to interact with each and everybody in the lab. Doesn't matter. Uh, because for some time I had just forgotten. Even I still forget many times that I'm a pathologist. I even go to the technician. I sit beside them. I try to understand what they are doing. What are the small tips which they can, practical tips they can give me. So this I had started to practice even for my MD curriculum. So there were many things which our technicians used to do. So people used to be very scared that going sitting with them. So I used to go to their room, I used to sit with them, I used to chat with them, and I try to learn whatever best possible I can learn from them. Because learning can come mostly from the experienced person. Rather, we may keep reading, but as much as we can learn from an experienced person, this cannot come from the books. This is what I always believe. So that has really helped me. And even all the technicians, students, scientific assistants in the lab, I had learned from each and everyone. So it has helped me a lot.
So,
Apart from
like,
that, no doubt there were PIs over here who has really helped me. It's like to enumerate Dr. Amin, Dr. Sari, Dr. Gupta. So they all were there to guide.
with your extensive expertise in the field, how has the field of cancer diagnosis evolved?
Mm. The cancer diagnostic has evolved a lot, maybe in last decade, I should say. Uh, as I am focusing on the genomics, so because this field of genomics has become now what is available now, it was not available a decade before. So like NGS now it has become a very commonly used technique. So even if we go not the complete decade, 7 8 years before, it was not as common as it was being done. So it was just a part of research, and that too was very costly and rarely available. But now it has become an integral, irreplaceable part of the diagnostic and the therapeutic services. So the genomics, the field of molecular biology, like immunohistochemistry, it was there even a decade before, but it was not as extensive as it is today. So even that, so various techniques has evolved in the field of molecular pathology, like IHC, FISH, then there are real-time PCRs, digital PCR, NGS. So in all these fields, it has evolved to a larger extent. And now it's very difficult, at least in the field of oncology, to survive or to take any decision for the patient without these evidences.
This brings us to the last segment of the episode. So I know the whole conversation with you was very inspirational in its own way, but as a last comment, what piece of advice do you want to give to the young minds who are who are wanting to start their career in the field of STEM or science, or who want to change their careers? Any one piece of advice?
Yeah. So for the young minds, I would like to say they they are now more equipped with what we were. They have been supported with so many things which are very easily available. Everything is available on the just one Google search. So they have to just take that extra effort, that no, I have to do this. Just this decision, a determined decision, has to come from within, and I'm sure then everything will fall in place. Maybe it may take a little bit here and there. Sometimes it becomes a longer period, but things do fall in place if you are really determined. So I would just request them that don't get afraid or scared by the temporary situations around, that how I'll move ahead. So just be determined, I want to move ahead. Determine the field and spread your wings. The sky is theirs. So they can always reach to the heights if it is from within. Things do fall in place. It's like when we try to think far ahead, we may see all darkness. We should start putting up a little steps, and then path may open up for them.
That's true. Like taking baby steps till you achieve to your goal.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a lovely conversation with you. Thank you so much, Dr. Poonam.
Thank you. Thank you chatting with you. It was really positive and vibrant.